So I was like, okay, I'm tired of attracting fake people. Why am I attracting fake people? Questioning myself again, right? You recognize and you question it. Why am I attracting fake people? Oh, it's because I'm faking myself. I'm lying to myself. Of course, I'm going to attract people like this. Okay, cool. Who do I want to be? I don't want to be fake no more. Change it. Bam. And it's just changing your behavior. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Yes, we back. We back. We back. Hi, soul family. Welcome back to the Sweet Tea Show, because this is the sweet tea for the soul. Yeah, and can somebody explain to me why I felt like we've jumped 4 timelines in the last month? Like, what? I feel like I done switched so many timelines, but they're all good though. They're all good. I can't complain at all. But it's like, dang, can we slow down a bit? Like, I just got over this, and you want me to, you know what I'm saying? But the timelines have been more of like a manifestation coming to life, or getting new stuff. It's just new energy. We love that. We love new energy, and that's why. That's part of the reason why, you just gotta take a break from YouTube. And I always say that, but I always come back with better and improved energy. So can't knock me, right? My candle I left up there. Do I feel like going for it? Nah. That's the lazy energy in me this morning. But I have the most important part, which is the tea. So, hey. Let's get this tea prepared real quick. And actually, so I haven't been here in a while. Where is my quote? The quote. Actually, I don't have a quote today, because today I just want to play catch up with you guys and kind of tell you what has been happening during these four or five timeline jumps. But I'm gonna set up this tea real quick. Lately, I have been in love with my mangoes. I had a whole mango yesterday, and I effed that ish up. Okay, I'm talking about like to the core. Nothing left. Put the tea in there to settle. When's the last time you guys see me? The last time you guys see me, I said I was going to New York, right? Did I vlog it? Yes, I did. It's a lot of footage and a lot of stuff I have to edit out because it's just music in the background. You can't put music on YouTube. So it's been taking me a minute to really get to it, which I really, 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 really should. I'm going to start small. I actually started, but I still have to clip out some things and add this, and this is why I don't vlog. Shout out to the vloggers, because that is a lot of editing. Oh my gosh. But it's cool. I'm going to find time to really post it. But the one part that I did not record about the trip was the lesson that I kind of learned behind the trip. I haven't been to New York or Connecticut since I moved. So that was like 3 years ago, right? I haven't seen my friends, family, best friend, nobody in 3 years, right? So I felt like I was coming back to home, but home in a physical sense, of course, and home as in mentally, spiritually. Like, I felt like when I moved here, I lost a part of myself, which I did. Like, I was away from my best friend, from people that I kind of grew up with in high school and stuff like that. So when I went back, number one, it's like nothing really changed. Even though it's been 3 years, I seen the people that I used to see all the time, and it was nothing but good vibes. And I got to kind of incorporate my Caribbean side and my state side, which I've always been doing, but I feel like I've always been doing it out of, what's the correct word? Out of insecurity. And when I say insecurity, is because if you are born in the States and your family is from some other place, you feel like you have to pick a side, right? Like it's either I'm from here or I'm from the States. But recently I've been mashing the two together because I grew up in both. I grew up in the Caribbean, I grew up in the States. So why not incorporate that to make me feel whole for myself, not feeling like I have to pick a side because society says so, or my friends are from here, and so I just decided to, like when I came back from New York and Connecticut, I just decided to come back to St. Croix and incorporate both in me and don't pick a side. Like, this is who I am. Accept it or you don't accept it, but that's what makes me me. I feel like because since I came to St. Croix, I've wanted to push away my stateside because of trauma and because of just a whole bunch of stuff, right? And it's not till I went back and I was like, why did I neglect this part of me for such and such reasons when I could have just kept that either as a memory, I could have kept it as something that was a part of my journey, because it made me who I am today. So keep both sides. So kept both sides, and I've been feeling more calmer with my spirit. I've been feeling like my throat chakra is more open because I'm speaking my truth more. I'm living in my truth. I felt like my sacral chakra, like basically like my chakras and my mental standpoint just became stable after I accepted that, because I feel like I was lost in a sense where I didn't know where to fit in. I didn't know who to be. I didn't know how to act in certain situations until I accepted all of it, and it's like, okay, now I know how to maneuver through this journey. Now I know how I feel when I'm safe. I know how I feel when I love myself at the highest point that I could right now. I know how I feel when I want to deal with conflict, anything, because I've taken back those experiences that I tried to put away, put it back in me, and now I feel like, yeah. Because I went through a lot of stuff, mainly in the States. I mainly had good memories in the Caribbean, right? So of course, like when you move, and this goes for anybody, especially at a young age, when you're moving and you're uplifting your life at such a young age, and all you remember is that, okay, this place gave me trauma. Of course, your natural reaction is to forget about the whole place. You want to forget about the friends that you made there. You want to forget about, the school, the places that you've been, because it's just like, that's associated with trauma. I'm okay. I'm going to start a whole new life and just, like I've seen a lot of people in their 20s on TikTok, even in movies or shows, wherever. I just see it often where it's like you move from one place to another and try to start a whole new life and try to neglect the old side of you because the old side of you was full of trauma. But that's what made you who you are today. That's what made you strong enough to move in the first place. That's what encouraged you to move in the first place, right? So don't neglect that side of you. Become friends with that and heal that. Recognize that it is you. Recognize that you cannot, no matter how many times you try to forget about it, you cannot forget. Like, that's your life. Welcome it in. So I welcome it back in. And anybody that has moved and tried to do the same thing, or it doesn't even have to be with traveling to another place, like just, what's the word I'm looking for? Because, it's crazy. I was watching Inside Out too, and that movie is so real. The emotions that they talk about and the things that we do as humans is, if you haven't watched Inside Out 2, matter of fact, if you haven't watched the first one, I feel like you have to watch the first one in order to watch the second one. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend. I ain't gonna say need. I highly recommend that you do, because if you know, you know. But it doesn't have to be with traveling. It could be just repressing your emotions. That's the word I'm looking for. Repressing your emotions and repressing anything that you don't want to deal with. If you literally cannot do that, because that is a part of your emotions, whether it's good or bad, right? And I realized too, it was reflecting in my room. My room was full of clothes and just messy for probably a good month or so. And then I realized, okay, usually when my room is messy, that means something up here is not working. It's not going correctly, right? So I finally cleaned my room. I'm not gonna lie. I cleaned my room. What is today? Wednesday? I probably cleaned my room on Monday or Sunday. One of those days, like real recent, because I finally was like, okay, I'm trying to be more in a clear headspace. Let me clean my room. And that helped a lot. So that reflected to me that, like, oh shoot, this is me repressing my emotions. This is me, because what I would do is I would literally put the clothes, toss them somewhere, and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to it later. That's what I be doing until it just piles up and it's like, oh damn, my whole room is a mess now. And that's what happens to you mentally. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put that emotion, I'm gonna deal with that problem later, and then you pile it on top of other problems, and then now your head is spiraling. You don't even know what to do. So that that can also tie into, damn, I lost my train of thought. Oh, shoot. Okay. I was talking about the traveling okay, so that's basically repressing your trauma and your old self, but you have to recognize it and bring it up and do whatever you want with it. If you want to be angry at that trauma, cool. That's how you feel towards your trauma at the moment. If you want to be sad towards your trauma, cool. Be sad about it. Feel whatever emotion you want to feel towards your trauma. Just make sure you don't repress it, okay? And then when you go through that emotion with your trauma, then question yourself, why am I angry at it? Oh, I'm angry at it because such and such should have never done that to me when they know da-da-da-da. Okay, but why are you so pissed that the person did that to you? Oh, because my parent did da-da-da-da when I was younger and it still triggers me. So find out why that event triggered an emotion in you and question it. Like I said, do whatever with it and realize where it's coming from. It's coming most likely from your trauma when you were a kid. Okay, it triggered something in you to make you feel angry, to make you feel sad, because that's what it did when it first initially happened to you as a kid, right? And then when you recognize that, now you think about the person that you want to be. I want to be happy. I want to be calm. I don't want to be so angry anymore. So then you work on that trigger. Right? I've been working, okay, I'm not gonna say that, but I've been trying to take time to understand my triggers because I don't want to be triggered anymore. I don't want to be so sad anymore. I don't want to be so angry anymore. I don't want to be so conflicted in my head anymore, because I realized it was reflecting in the people that I was attracting, especially romantically. So I was attracting people that were angry, was depressed, other stuff that I was dealing with subconsciously that I didn't want to admit until it reflected in my face, my relationships, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is how I be treating myself. So if I want to do better, I have to recognize what triggers me, heal it, and move on. What I have been doing to heal my triggers is, okay, one of the things, and I'm gonna be so honest, I'll be so honest right now. But when I feel like my partner is not giving me enough attention, Boy, do I freak out. I freak out. Like, I'm like, oh shit, this person gonna leave me. I see this coming already. Like, oh my gosh. And then it triggers me to start either people pleasing or, yeah, you ain't gonna speak to me? Cool, next. It's literally like no in between. It really just depends on the person and how serious it is for me. But yeah. So realizing that is toxic. And if you don't fix this, you're going to keep on attracting situations like that. I was like, you know what? Let me sit down with myself and realize this is not okay. Like, this is a trigger you have to work on, because you cannot let other people rule your emotion like that and get mad because somebody's not giving you attention. We all have our own life to live. We all be going through some things. I'm not going to get, So that was reflecting an insecurity in me. Like, okay, number one, my dad didn't really give me the attention that I wanted. So I was seeking that attention from either him or other people, right? Cool. Now I was like, okay, I have to sit with myself now. Like, I have to sit with the silence. I have to sit with, not speaking to this person, or because it happened to me multiple times. Like, I feel like almost every relationship I have been in, I've felt this emotion of neglect. Like, why aren't you, you know what I'm saying? From the first relationship I had, and I was like, 16? 17? I think something like that. Something around that age. And my first serious relationship, in the beginning, we was going through it because, number one, that was my first relationship. So I didn't know the trauma I was carrying into the relationship. I didn't know my triggers at the time. I didn't know his triggers. We were just arguing. Like, when we first started getting together, arguing. And mind you, we're in school, so we're arguing like 7 something in the morning about dumb-ish. And it was mainly me. It was mainly me. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bitch. I was. All right. It was mainly me in the beginning. Just picking at problems because either I felt neglected or I felt like you weren't doing things to please me. In a sense, it was just a lot, right? So eventually it got better. But that was like when I actually started to gain conscience of what I be dealing with emotionally, right? And that was probably like the beginning of the 3rd year of our relationship, and that's when we already became distant. And so it was like me, I've always had that problem, and even after him, is like talking to other people and still attracting that problem. Why do I feel neglected in every relationship that I am in? Was a question I really had to ask myself. And this is recently, I've been dating and all that for a couple of years now, and this is just recently I'm asking myself, why do I keep attracting neglect? And it's because I'm seeking attention. Okay, why am I seeking attention so much? Oh, for validation. Okay, why do you feel like you need validation from other people? Oh, because I'm insecure about myself. Bam, that's it. So realizing that, oh shoot, you're insecure. Nothing is wrong with that. But now you have to make sure that you are secure within yourself, so the next time something that used to trigger you triggers you again, or whatever the situation is, you're calm because you're more secure with yourself. You can literally pour back into yourself and alchemize that energy because you love yourself more. So that has been me. I have been through situations recently that showed me like, you ain't doing so good, girl. So I went back into my journal, went back into me, and I'm like, okay, I understand why. Now. It's because I'm insecure, and people will look at me or talk to me and they'll be like, yeah, you're so confident. And I do believe so. I'm confident in the way that I carry myself in these streets. But when it comes to relationships, it kind of triggers insecurities in me because, which is normal, it happens. And if you try to sit here and deny it, cool, do what you gotta do. But in reality, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people are insecure in relationships, and that is so normal. So yeah, I might be confident in whatever else, career, whatever else, right? But when it came to relationships, you're seeing the full me. I have to make sure that, like, I'm, in the sense, perfect enough to, but also another thing is nobody's perfect. I am not perfect, so I don't have to keep trying to be perfect. And I realize that really reflects a lot in women. Because it's like, okay, we have to be the perfect woman for this man, or this man is not going to like us, or we have to do such and such in this relationship, or this relationship is just not going to work out. And we just put ourselves on a, what's the word? It's not pedestal, but we put ourselves in a position to try to be perfect so we could reflect out a perfect relationship or the perfect woman for this guy, right? So dealing with that as well is like, okay, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to, and it could be the littlest things like, okay, if a guy FaceTime me, my hair don't have to be fixed. It's either you like me, a bare face, hair looking terrible, or you're just not the one for me. So I had to kind of switch that narrative. Like, if I'm not coming in as my real self, then the relationship is not going to be real. If I'm coming in as my real self and you don't like the real me, then obviously you're not the person for me. It kind of just weaves out all the fake energy when I stop being fake towards myself, right? Deep. And the real starts coming in. I started doing that. I started accepting that, like, I'm not going to be perfect all the time. And I have attracted a couple of people that either see that, recognize it, and still be okay with it, and they're still real with themselves. So that is deep. That is deep, because it kind of took me, I ain't gonna say kind of, but all my life I've been dealing with this. So to actually recognize these two insecurities and perfectionism thing, it takes a lot off of my shoulders, because it's like, cool, now that I know what is up, I could be at peace with it and just move past it. And it takes practice, clearly, because I've been trying to work towards these things for the longest, but actually not knowing what I'm working towards. So now that I've actually, dig deep in my brain a bit, it's like, oh, cool, this is what I've been working towards. I just didn't know what it was. So solidifying that for me in my mind, it gave me more peace and patience with myself. Really, like, I had to really be patient with myself, because you're not going to get it right away. If the next partner that you attract does the same thing to you, that is okay, because you're just not going to get it right away. Like, it takes practice until it just don't happen no more, right now, I definitely feel like it's getting a lot better. And I recognize that because I'm able to speak my truth more and be so raw and authentic with it, even if it sounds bizarre, even if it sounds weird, even if I stutter, even if whatever the case may be. It's like, at the end of the day, I'm living in my truth, and I'm not going to feel uncomfortable or agitated because, and that goes back to feeling lost and neglecting that stateside me. I realized I was being fake in situations to fit in, but I realized, girl, you're only attracting fake people that way. Real. So I was like, okay, I'm tired of attracting fake people. Why am I attracting fake people? questioning myself again, right? You recognize and you question it. Why am I attracting fake people? Oh, it's because I'm faking myself. I'm lying to myself. Of course I'm going to attract people like this. Okay, cool. Who do I want to be? I don't want to be fake no more. Change it. Bam. And it's just changing your behavior. Like, don't do all these things and don't change your behavior and just go back to what you were doing before. You're not going to change nothing. So if I want to attract real, okay, I got to be real with myself. How do I be real with myself? Speak my truth. Okay. And that's how I've been doing that is, for example, when I'm at work, just being my real self. Like, there's so many different personalities around me at work. I have to be myself, right? Because everybody has their own personality. I have to be myself and live in my truth to feel comfortable in that situation. And that's where the main character thing comes in. Everybody's the main character of their own story. So you gotta be the main character. And the main character is not like anybody else. The main character has their own personality. You are your main character, so be you. There's nobody else like you, and maneuver through that. Even if it's weird, even if it's awkward, because we always want to like be ourselves, but we don't want to deal with the downside of things like being awkward or but everybody's awkward in their own way. Everybody's weird in their own way, and going onto social media and everybody's like putting on this perfectionism thing, like I look good all the time, or I'm happy all the time, or you see these couples and they got cute ass pictures, but in reality they're suffering. Like, everybody's putting on this perfectionism on social media, and that's what pressures people, especially as people in their 20s, because that's mainly us using the social media. We feel pressured to be perfect like that too. Oh, people are posting, I got my apartment at 21 and da-da-da-da. But the whole time you're paying paycheck to paycheck and you're not eating. But you're not posting that on social media, right? So recognizing that, okay, life off of social media is real as hell. I'm about to curse. It's real as hell. So live that, accept that. Like, that's life. Life is gonna be real. Life is not perfect. Life is real, and life be lifing. Okay, so if we go around this world and act like life don't be lifing, we're gonna be struggling. We just gonna be depressed. We're gonna be full of anxiety. We just gonna be carrying our trauma to other people because we want to ignore the fact that life is hard. If we ignore it, we will never be able to heal it. And that is, if you want to do better as a person, that's the key to doing better, is healing. Recognizing, like, this is not the person who I want to be. Recognizing that, like, I don't want to be toxic anymore. I want to do better. I want to feel better. It's not doing it for other people. It's doing it for you. I want to feel better inside. I don't want to have any worries anymore. I don't want to feel like I'm conflicted in my head anymore, because it's causing stress on my body. It's causing stress on my health, my mental. And I was just talking about this yesterday too. The main reason why we go through much struggle is because of other people. It's either we're living for other people, or we're listening to other people's opinions. We are trying to please other people because this is what they expect us to be. But damn. Forgot that was not stirred up. Oh my gosh. All right. Cool. We're back. And I'm not gonna cut that out. But yeah. I forgot what to say. Yeah. If we keep living for other people, we gonna be so unhappy. We gonna be, these mosquitoes, we gonna be struggling. I even said yesterday too, like, I don't want to die or leave this earth knowing that I've spent my whole life living for other people and I didn't do actually what I wanted to do. I didn't pursue that career. I didn't wear this certain type of clothing, or I didn't authentically be myself because of what other people might think and da 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 da. No, like, I'm gonna live my truth. It's either you like it or you don't. It's either you align with it or you don't. It's either you get with the program or you don't. And if you don't, I'm cool with that. That's the one thing I really accepted, is that if somebody chooses to leave my life right now, I'm cool with that. That was your personal choice. If you could sleep at night knowing that you made that decision and you're happy, cool. Be happy over there, right? Also, loving people from a distance. You may not be in my life fully. Some stuff might have happened to us in the past, but in order to keep my peace, I love you from a distance, and I'm happy with that decision. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. I may be the villain in your story or whatever the case may be, but as long as you're happy, I'm happy. You feel me? I'm really not in the mood anymore for the fake stuff, for the lies, for the manipulation, for the games, whatever it is that you guys do nowadays that I used to do out of trauma. Everybody's just, living that out right now, especially if you're in your 20s. You're living that out in whatever way that means to you. But I finally come to the point where, like, okay, I'm gonna stop this. I call quits. Waving my flag. I'm throwing in the towel. Okay, I'm done. I'm done dealing with all that negative energy that I was letting into my life for the longest, and I'm only allowing positive stuff. I don't want things to shake up my emotions anymore. I don't want things to trigger me. I don't want none of it anymore. I just want to be at peace with myself and really be at peace with myself, so I could only have the space, right, and the capacity to only bring in positive. That's it. If it's not positive vibes, I don't want it, right? And I know life is not going to be positive all the time. Life is, like I said, going to be real, but I want to keep it that way. I want to keep real in my life. Real people, real situations, anything authentic, anything that belongs to me, it's for me, really just keeping the good vibration. I've been loving the good vibration lately. Once I recognize, like, this is what I want. I want peace. I want nothing but peace. It ain't gonna be peaceful all the time. Life's still gonna be life, but I still want to keep that peace within myself so I can maneuver through life. Just keeping it real. Like, if something shake me up, I know to come back to me. Meditate, pray, read a book, take some space to me, just literally sit in silence. Whatever it is that makes me feel at peace, it's gonna come right back to me, right? And that's how you kind of fix that insecurity, that trigger when it pops up. You come back to you, but you cannot come back to you if you don't know you. So, if you gotta take a moment to yourself, and it could be however long, if you gotta take a moment to yourself to understand you, do so. And that requires solitude, only for the fact that other people are not you. You cannot be around other people and still trying to figure out you. You have to come back to you and only you to figure out you, and then you could go back into the world and be you still, right? And attract your soul family, or attract people that are just for you and you're for them, because you guys both align. You guys are on the same vibration. You guys understand yourselves, right? But I am rambling at this point. But I thank you guys for listening, staying in tune. Yeah, this is why I took 3 weeks off of YouTube, because all of that I was learning within four I'm gonna remind you, 4 timeline jumps in a month. I don't know if it's 4, but that's how it felt. Like, it was just back to back to back to back in a month. Oh my gosh. So learning all of that, but I do feel healthy. I'm not gonna lie. My mental health, my physical health, spirituality. Everything's on point lately, so I can't even, like I said, I can't complain. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's showing off the business card because that's what we do around here. But for real, subscribe, share, like, comment. Okay, we trying to get them subscribers up, baby. Okay, I'm like at 300 and something right now. Can we make it to 1,000? I feel like we can make it to 1,000 if we put our heads together. We can make it to 1,000, right? I feel so. I feel like we gonna get there. 1,000, that's the goal. And then, obviously it's gonna go up. But right now it's 1,000. Like, comment, and subscribe, people. But I will see you guys on the next time. I'll see you guys next time.